Well, hi everyone, and this is a quick decision to do a live. So obviously I'm not totally prepared, but I have so much to talk about that I thought it was worth it right now. And a lot of you might have just seen the video I put up as a premiere, which I think was important because it kind of reminds us why we're all here, or most of us anyway. Just to see the desperation from Frank that he couldn't get anywhere with AdSense, YouTube, Facebook, Patreon. And I did a video about a couple of years ago in February 21, and I didn't release it because I hadn't finished it. I actually had a much longer version, which I thought was the one I was showing, but I didn't check. And but that was a 7-minute version, enough to see some of what I was putting out. Maybe I'll do a second part 2 with the rest. But I kind of decided to go live because there is so much that I want to say, and so much that may be controversial, especially with the Patreon income, which is totally shocking me. Really is. So here I am, and Shirley's not here. I don't even know if Shirley knows I've gone live, and she is the one that checks the comments for me because I can't see them right now, but I'm just trying to get them up. And thanks to my daughter, she's got me my new pair of specs, which I can see distance and the variant ones or whatever. And posh Nina Ricci, even though they don't particularly look posh. But anyway, yeah, she's obviously she works in an optician place. So yeah, I can read the comments now, which I couldn't do before because I didn't have that intermediate vision. So whether or not I can focus on them, I don't know. So welcome to everybody. Nuff Nuff with respect. Jojo, Slinky Socks, Revy Green, Tootsie Pop, and maybe some other Tonto 67, and Shell is here. Hi, Shell. I don't know if you want to come up because you might have some comments you want to make too. So would you like the link, Shell? Hang on, I'll give you the link. And if you want to come up too, because I really feel you might want to. And I would love you if you came up here. Okay. Have you got it? Did you want to come up, Shirley, or are you busy and just passing through? So anyway, I'll start with what I think is probably not only controversial, but a lot of people won't believe some of what they see regarding the Patreon video I just put out recently, a couple of days ago, with some of his finances. It's shocking me. Even this morning, as I'm going through it and adding in other stuff, that I'm just overwhelmed and shocked at how much money he has earned. Now, I know that a lot may say, well, that's not your business. But I think when you look at somebody who has made this much money off a murder of a family, a mother, Shanann, Cece, Nico, and Bella, and abused them in the way he has, but also my main objective when I first came to this community was because he was making money off the Maddie community, off the Maddie. And when you consider not only making money off Maddie was awful, because none of us do, we don't make a penny. The fact is that the Portuguese police released 40,000 files. Each one of those had to be translated, and it was done by volunteers over 4 years. And how dare anybody make money from their hard work, because we wouldn't have been able to discuss it without those files. So I just saw, I think I just saw a message from Shirley. Oh, hang on, I think, yes. Oh, she's going to have a coffee because she's just got up, because she's Shirl Z. You realize that? Z is from Alaska. That's why she calls herself actually Shirl AK, but some people call her Z. And then, oh well, I just don't know. So, yeah, Shirl. So, where should I start? I know I did a graphic 2 years ago, I think, March of 2021. And I don't know if I've got it handy here. I'm not prepared, obviously. And without Shirl, I can't take time off and have her tell her piece. But what I did quote on it was that Armchair Detective was making somewhere in the region of 20,000 a month. Now, I think the majority of people looked at that graphic and thought, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I totally understand that. I never really thought any more about it until just recently, when Alan Vinicum decided to call me a liar. And there's one thing you don't do with that, because everything I do, I try to be as factual as possible. And so he opened a can of worms, because now I am not only looking to correct that particular graphic, I am looking at all his income over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, mostly the last 4 years. And month by month, it's a huge job, but someone's got to do it, because I find it incredible to think a man that was earning basically over the past 3 years, he's maybe we won't include the last few months because he's really gone downhill, but over a good 3 years, he was earning off Patreon probably an average of 10,000 a month. Sometimes he was earning, if, as he claims in one video that he did, that he was bragging about getting 2,000 patrons. If that's the case, at $10, because he's been $10 for 3 years, the dollar and $2 are wiped out. If that's the case, that month, February of 2021, just on Patreon alone, he would have been earning 20,000. And that's him bragging that he got. I've not taken it to 20,000. I've decided I'm not even going to guess at 1,500, which is probably what it was for most of that year. 1 year, from September 2020 until September of 2021, his minimum tier was $10. And during that time, he had over 1,000 patrons, which 1,000 patrons at a minimum of $10 works out to $10,000. That's over just that 1 year. That's $120,000 in that 1 year. But you have to look at the fact that it was probably more than 100,000. 10,000 each month because he had more than 1,000. I just cannot prove how many more. And so I'm keeping at the absolute bare minimum. I'm not trying to fabricate anything because even the bare minimum is shocking. Also keeping in mind that a lot of those were his regular subs that he had for a couple of years who were really generous. And I know that some paid $50 a month. He went through a time where he was getting them pay for a year. But anyway, so that's the very basics of why I'm doing this. It's because he called me a liar, and you just don't call me a liar when I know that. Well, this is the funny thing. He has seen my video, I know, because some of the things he's referring to. But he's the other day he was bluffing off as if it was I've got it all wrong. And but the thing is, and the thing I love is he knows he earned more than I'm claiming. He knows that. But I'm happy with just claiming the bare minimum. So I don't know whether or not I'm not actually reading the comments, because that's the other thing. I can't think and talk and read comments at the same time. I'm not very good at that. Let me have a quick look with my new specs. Okay, can't see anything handy there. But anyway, maybe for those that may not have seen the video, maybe I'll show you a bit, maybe explain some. If I can get to it. So give me a sec. I love the beginning of this. I absolutely love it. He claimed I can't count. I've proved him wrong, and that just I was just so tickled pink to be able to prove him wrong. So hang on, let me try and find it. I've got the door open, so I'm sorry about the flies. Okay. Oh, so it's using different words. Instead of whatever it was, it's now present. So I'm presuming that's doing. If I disappear, I'll be back. Share screen. And
Lizzie who can't count, Lizzie who thinks I'm making millions.
Now, I'm not sure if I can talk over the video. I think actually I can, because I didn't bother to put any other things on it. Shirley, are you around? Okay, yeah. Up until now, and did you love that bit where I was able to prove him that I can count? Now he's probably looking at it thinking Oxford University, that's where I went to. Of course not. It's no big deal. It was just a GCE kind of thing. It wasn't even a GCE, it was a CPA. But I just found it after 57 years, I've actually been able to use it. I mean, I can't believe that. Nobody's ever asked me for it. Yeah, we've got to the point where I'm trying to figure out how to do something. I don't know how. We've got to the point where I was doing a basic minimum on his subs and his volume at that time. So let me get back to it. And can you let me know if you can hear me? I'm not sure whether, I know when I do videos directly from StreamYard, they block you from talking, but I don't think so on the other. I'm waffling, aren't I? So let me try again. So can you hear me okay if I speak over it? This is this was from way back when he 244. That's when he was not December. He had 500 by December of 2019. But this is just an example. If there was 244, it was during 2019. It would have been a low estimate. This was to show that there would barely be any dollar ones. If there was 200 at $2, it would have been 400, 43 at 10, and that's wrong because that should be 460. So actually, I can't count, but even that shows it's just under 1,000, just basically from that. But anyway, I'll move on. Yeah, I did that graphic when he suddenly changed it to $5. That was January the 7th, 2020. But by June, he changed it to 10. So from June of 2020 until this day, I'm presuming you can hear me, it's been $10. So he tried to fluff it off initially, saying that it was mostly $1 or $2. No, it's been $10 for 3 years. And the majority actually pay probably more than $10. Now, this was September the 28th until 2020, until the following September. I did estimate 15,000, but I've actually changed that now. I'm doing the bare minimum. I'm not doing any estimates as such. And
Alan?
I know. I've seen him. I know everything about true crime, Watts Island. He's probably made money out of me. He's
Awesome.
probably trying to make money out of me, saying I'm useless and debunk me. But
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I haven't made a cent out of you, mate. You're the richest man on YouTube.
I am. I've got 2,000 patrons. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, April.
Good on you, mate.
And I say it's my job, and I'm allowed to have a job. I thought in this world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there it is. He himself basically is saying, I make 20,000 per month. That's what saying he made 22,000 patrons. That's what he's telling you. I just made 20,000 this month. It's actually more because a lot of them pay more. So then you look at if it's 10,000 every month for 12 months, that's 120,000 he made in 1 year. Apart from super chat, monetization, membership, PayPal, I think you can see that there is lots more to come. Oh, yeah. And anybody who questions that he gets that much money, and we all know what he does with it, off to poker. He did 4 trips abroad in 4 months to Malta, Barcelona. He, of course, went to London a few times, and Coventry and Blackpool, I think, Bratislava, and back to Malta. So how could he afford that if he wasn't getting 10,000 a month at least? Oh, and this is the other thing I asked him. He's welcome to point out publicly or privately, or he can send it directly to Cohen Davis, because they will be receiving a copy of all this. It's up to him. He doesn't have to show me, but I think Cohen Davis will be interested. If he wants to dispute what I have come up with, he is more than welcome. So back here again. Yeah, so he can dispute it, right? He's welcome to. He knows darn well he's earned a lot more than what I'm showing. So how can he do that? He actually did fluff off last night by, what was it? He said, off. She's got all the figures wrong or something, and I'm not going to show you my income. Well, you don't have to, because we can see it. So that's really, I've still got lots more to do. What I'm planning, and it's all because he called me a liar. What I'm planning, or actually I'm in the middle of, or partway through, is taking every monthly income. Now that, and of course yearly, I think he's made something like 50 to 60,000 in super chat so far. There was also the Red Channel monetization. And this is the other thing that I noticed this morning. He was on a live last night, and he had over 600 viewers, which is unusual for him. I think you'll agree. But he obviously was so excited because, although I haven't viewed them, I saw notifications this morning to say that he'd, early in the morning, so it would have, well, it was 5 o'clock my time, he's put a video on the Red Channel, which is monetized, and he's put a video on the Green Channel, which he hasn't used in a long time except for Patreon, and that's monetized too. He doesn't get monetization for Patreon, mind, but yeah, he's on a roll now, and he's ready for the what's case and to make his money again. And the thing is, when he does clickbait, the what's case does bring in a lot of views. And then once he gets the views, then he gets the subs, then he gets the Patreon. And he's hoping that it will improve again, because since he hasn't done a lot of watts, he's gone right down. Now, Nicola Bully, he did make quite a bit of money. I've forgotten, was it 8,000 or something on Nicola Bully monetization? But that's finished. So he's been doing mostly, I think, the rant videos, and those bring in the super chat. So he's kind of, now we won't forget either that he is well known for phoning people up, phoning his subs up. What he does, and we have, you know, proof of that, that he, in one particular instance, when he was at Malta back in 2019, I think, yeah, he went there for a tournament, and I looked previously and saw that there was another tournament a week after he was coming back, you know, after the 2 weeks. I saw there was another tournament, and sure enough, he stayed the other week. And we have a member in our No Hate group that explained to us that he called her. He asked her for a lot of money. I can't remember whether or not he told her what it was for, but basically he asked her for a lot of money. She didn't give it, so he probably called somebody else. But this is what he does. And right now, we're not seeing a lot of super chat. And I'm thinking that what he's done is explain to his subs that, oh, if you send super chat, all the trolls are going to be after you. And he doesn't get the full amount in super chat. Yeah. And I think they take about 30% off. So he's probably been talking to a few and saying, if you want to send me money, send me PayPal. And therefore the trolls won't be after you. But that's so that we don't know how much he makes, along with the fact that he doesn't get any money. He gets all of it. I think that's what he may be doing right now, because he's not pushing for super chat. Normally we'd kind of hear about super chat, especially when he's short of money, which he's not getting as much now. I haven't even bothered to look to see, but no, he's not getting as much now. So now, are you there, Shirley? I think Shirley might have something to say because I can't remember, and I don't know that I've got it handy. Is he called her? He said she must be an imbecile for watching him day and night, 7 days a week or something. And I can't remember. Shirley will remember. And then he wanted to look into who she was and why she, what her real name was. Well, I mean, on Facebook, she uses her real name. She's got nothing to hide from. And he'd like to talk to her. Well, she immediately, I'll let Shirley tell you. If she's around, Shirley. Maybe she's gone again. So, now, is there anything else right now, just randomly, that you want to ask? Because I can actually see the chat. I can't concentrate and talk at the same time. Oh, I did hear too. I think Robin, one of his mods, she posted in the No Hate group that apparently his son had offered him a job somewhere. I've forgotten what it was. Not a fish and chip shop. Something of that nature, and he refused it. Oh well. Oh, Sandy Blue and Stand Up and Ed and Michael. Hi, Michael. Yeah, sure. Oh, that's right. Michael just said he's chosen Shirl because he's run out of others. Out of all the so-called trolls now and haters. Now, what he doesn't make clear, because he's got an agenda just to make us whatever, but there's a big difference between a hater and somebody exposes somebody. That's all we try to do. That's all I try to do. I'm not out to hate anyone. I just like the truth. I think everybody knows that. It's got to be factual, otherwise I don't want to deal with it. And because he's run out of some of the so-called trolls, I think he only had Val left. So he started on Shirl. She's his new troll, but no, I'm leaving it for Shirley to tell you. That's her story. So, oh yeah, he's. Let's not forget the HMRC ban. That was a ban that was shown. We discovered it, I guess, on his local newspaper, where he had some restaurants. Whoops, something frightened me there. He had some restaurants, and funnily enough, they only ended up like a year at a time within the tax period, maybe, who knows. But they didn't receive the accounts. He couldn't produce the accounts for the restaurants, and the only thing they could do was ban him as being a director for 12 years maybe. And also I think there was a $60,000 tax request, but because it come under limited company, from what I understand, he's not limited company, so he doesn't have to pay it. But he was running restaurants and not giving the accounts. Now, what does that tell you? I think it tells us everything. Never mind. Oh, here's Shirl. Never mind the here she got. I should let her on, but hey, never mind the reviews that he got. I mean, they were hilarious from some of his restaurants. Anyway, let's welcome Shirl. Thank you, Shirl. That's good of you to come up. I didn't know I was doing this, by the way.
I gathered. It didn't look like it was very planned.
Hang on, I've got to turn my audio up because I didn't. Yeah, so I was kind of started to tell the story that I knew you'd want to say, but I had to hold back because I think it's your story to tell.
Well, don't be mad at me. I still haven't watched that clip that you sent. So the only one that I know of, the only one that I know of is that first one. I haven't watched because, contrary to what Mr. Wizard likes to say, I don't watch him every day. In fact, I very rarely watch him. Now, 2 years ago, oh yeah, that's what we did. We watched him every single day, waiting for him to screw up so we could catch him on something. But yeah, AD, that's so 2 years ago. Come on.
Even I don't watch. I record,
right,
but I very rarely ever watch.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I think Mike's right. I don't know why. I guess what I think is maybe because my association with you, and he's been gunning for you, and I've been on a lot of your lives, whether it be the Maddie or the AD stuff. So maybe because I don't make videos, I don't even comment in the Facebook group that much anymore. Again, so 2 years ago, AD, yes, I'm the one that wrote that letter to you 2 years ago. If you'd like, I can republish it. I can republish it for you.
Oh,
You read
what
it
was
out.
that letter?
Huh?
I don't remember that. What was that?
That was actually in Maureen's group. I went for him pretty hard in an open letter to him, and he read it out on one of his lives saying, this person really thinks this about me. This is the most awful thing I've ever read, and all this other stupid stuff. But yeah, that was.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that was.
You
But
have
that
it handy?
I think I do, because I was thinking about republishing it since he's trying to give me all this attention.
Yeah, but I didn't tell the story as to well, I kind of did tell the story.
What?
But I
story?
didn't say about how you were ready with popcorn.
What? Say what? Lizzie, I'm still waking up. Give me some more here. I need some more. Can I call a friend? Can I phone a friend? I'm confused.
I'm just talking about when he started to troll you and was looking up your name and wanted to talk to you, and you responded.
Oh, in on your Facebook group? Yeah, no, not popcorn, chips and dip. I'll bring the chips and dip.
Yeah.
No,
didn't you post on his chat?
Oh yeah, I said send me the link and I'll be glad to have a chat with you or something like that. Yeah, I posted in it and apparently I'm blocked. So there you go. Surprise. Yeah. Okay. So you want me to read? You may not like this, Lizzie.
Why?
Well, I mean, I'm not very nice. Imagine that.
oh, you mean my ears? Listen,
yes,
that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Well, there's not actually a whole lot of cuss words, believe that or not. All right.
Well, that's okay because this is the Lizzie channel. This isn't the Maddie channel. Right.
Okay. All right. So I'm queuing up the F words right now then, because that's how that works. This I think this looks it's better if you read it yourself because it kind of sounds redundant over and over, but it says 2AD. You are a compulsive liar. And also, wait, preface this with, remember back in the day, he used to end everything in my opinion. I think Nicole Kessinger did this, in my opinion. Remember? So that was kind of the theme that I went with this. I said, you are a compulsive liar, in my opinion. You are a thief, in my opinion. You are a cheat, in my opinion. You are a manipulator, in my opinion. You are a failure, in my opinion. You are untrustworthy, in my opinion. You are a misogynist, in my opinion. You are emotionally stunted, in my opinion. You are rude and dismissive, in my opinion. You are conniving, in my opinion. You are intellectually inferior, in my opinion. You are a dangerous person and will be responsible for someone getting hurt or hurting themselves if you haven't already. You have an unnatural obsession with murdered children, in my opinion. You have an unhealthy interest in talking about the injuries inflicted on murder victims, in my opinion. You have an irrational response to criticism, in my opinion. You have no social skills, in my opinion. You have absolutely no self-awareness, in my opinion. You have no conscience, in my opinion. You have never, ever solved a crime, in my opinion. You have caused damage to almost every person you cross paths with, in my opinion. You have no value to add to any true crime case, in my opinion. You have no real world skills to sustain steady employment or relationships, in my opinion. And then I wrote something to his subs about basically just being brainwashed and a link to a psychology thing. I won't go into all that. I can repost this in no hate. Like I said, it comes across better if you're reading it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's you've got a good opinion. I think you ticked off on all of them there. I can't think of any others right now, but if I can,
I'm sure I could think of a few more, but so again, if any of AD's subs are watching, just so you guys know, in case you don't get out there, I've said it on a live now, and I've said it in his chat, which was blocked, and I've said it in the Facebook group. Hey, AD, just send me the link and we'll have a chat. I'll even try to keep the cuss words and the insults down to a minimum as long as you do, but I know you can't. So it'll just be a free for all. We'll even find an impartial channel. I mean, I know there are some people that wouldn't mind hosting it. Yeah, send me a link.
Yeah, that would be perfect. And the point is, it's not just you. I've only come across twice, maybe once actually, that I've seen him confronted, and that was when that Katie did it on Patreon once.
Yeah.
And she confronted him, and he couldn't deal with it, and he was going to let her go, and she said no, AD. She was really insistent, and I think that's the only time he's ever been confronted.
Well, it was the longest time he's been confronted. Normally, he just doesn't even allow him in chat, let alone on the panel. But
yeah. And I mean, Outback offered $1,000 to him.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
because, well, we all know the reason. Is it because he cannot? I was going to use some words there. I won't. But he cannot handle it. He wouldn't be able to do it. He's all talk. He's a mouthpiece. He's a master manipulator. I will give him that one. And he is a master with the mouth. I will give him that one. But that's where it stops. And everything he says is a lie. I mean, I have never in my life come across anybody who lies as much as he does, blatantly, and then never addresses it. He's been debunked on just about everything. I mean, look at the flower pot last night. I mean, in the group, Undercover Mother posted an old video, and it shows that flower pot that he claimed was NK, keeping the children occupied, and he was absolutely sure, is actually a picture of the I'm not sure, Bella Rossisi's footprints and the way it looks.
Yes, he's starting to bring out all those.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell?
Because you haven't been watching, Shirley.
I haven't been watching, but I've named some stuff, going back in my memory. Sorry, hold on.
Oh, there she goes.
I just, like I said, if a leaf blows 3 blocks over, my dogs bark. So they're like little kids. They'll be quiet all day until I get on the phone or something. Then all of a sudden they have something to say.
Been there, done that.
I've been trying to remember all the crazy stuff that he has said back in the day. Oh, shoot, I'm going back on mute.
Yeah, the wasp. It's all going to come out again, Shirley. And this is the thing. And this is what I need to address in No Hate, because I want to preempt all of the stuff that he brings up time after time. The wasp. He's kind of forgotten the wasp, because that was a little bit ridiculous. A wasp was murdered. What does that signify? But one I did add today is another one, the grey truck. Now, the grey truck that was parked outside, he's always on about that truck. And there was a young boy, a young neighbor, who actually saw it, took the number down, and it was discovered to be, I think it was a landscaper or something. And it's totally irrelevant to the case, but he still uses it, the grey truck. Never mind the red car, which we all know, without 1 ounce of question, is Betty's car, reflected from the backlights of Chris as he puts them on, backs up, pulls forward, whatever. That's all that is. And even Mexi, when he visited the area, I have a video where Mexi looks at the area that next to the lawn in front of, like, this side of Betty's house, where he puts his feet. He said that this is not wide enough to take a car. And AD actually does admit, no, so yeah, so that wouldn't fit. Yeah, he still uses it because you know what? As long as he's got the subs in his chat, he can say what he wants, because that's when he'll grab whatever he can, money-wise, whatever, because it doesn't matter afterwards if he's debunked. He doesn't care that he gets debunked on it. All he's interested in is the clickbait and having his subs there and then follow him and believe him and think. And now he's, like he said, he's built a wall. So he tells them he won't talk about the names of our videos or creators, because they'll learn the truth. And in actual fact, I laugh because last night, pardon?
I was just going to say, that's old news. He's been naming them for a while, hasn't he? I mean, he's gotten so far as to naming someone that doesn't even make videos about him. So,
oh right, yeah, that's now. But before, when he he was doing, and in fact, last night, in his comments that he made towards the end of his live last night about me, was that Elizabeth F, regarding the Patreon exposure, she claims that, well, that's just Social Blade. You can't rely on Social Blade. Yeah, right. I have been saving anything since I came into this community. I save anything and everything, as you know. So I have all that proof. I have screenshots. I might have lost some in hard drives and stuff, but basically everything I'm doing, I have the proof. Social Blade. Yeah, Social Blade will let us know what subs he gets or how many views, but that's all. It's not anything part of the work that I'm doing right now, which is totally worth it, and will be going to Cohen Davis, of course. Maybe to other places. Who knows?
And I just get on panels and call him names. That's my contribution.
Love it, Shel. Yeah, well, but you just never watch him.
I don't. I really don't anymore, and I haven't for at least over a year, except for little snippets that you put in. I think I tried. I left a comment to him on JC's one of JC's community posts. I really did try to watch him one time because there was something that was being talked about, and I literally I can't. I just can't. I can't. It's been so many years of so much crap. It just infuriates me. But yeah, so I'm glad that he's revisiting all his crazy conspiracies, because I was trying to talk about them with someone, and of course, I'm coming up with the catapulting bodies out the back window, with the yeah, the hammock, yeah, and
I mean that's.
The chloroform in the AC, because who in the world would have AC on in August? Well, Colorado and a lot of other states, you idiot. The blue glove, the dead wasp, there's your proof. There's chloroform. Something about 4 people must have been there the night before because he cooked 4 steaks or 4 pork chops. I mean, all these crazy shit. And I knew that there was so much more that I just couldn't remember. So, hey, great, AD. I mean, put that shit back out there. Because I'll just give other people more stuff to talk about, because you really are a friggin' idiot. He is. I mean, and again, I just want to say,
regurgitating, right?
Yeah. But hey, it'll refresh people's minds on exactly how absolutely crazy it was, listening to that stuff. The ponytail and the pictures by the tree, the pixelated and. Oh my God,
I have yet to see anything that looks even similar to a person with a ponytail coming out of the garage.
Yeah,
it's one of the most ridiculous ones that he's got.
It is. And I remember watching that back then, and he's like, "You see it, don't you? You see it?" And all his chats going, "Oh my God, AD, we do see it." And it was like, "No, you don't. You're lying. You do not see it." And then someone's like, "I see a cell phone. See, there's a cell phone." You're like, "Oh Jesus, this."
That's how he gets them, because they're within that thing where they they just have to agree with it. Yeah, I think I can see it. Yes, I can see it. Oh my goodness me. It's just
It's
I'm
sometimes
just
I
reading
run out of
something.
words.
You carry on.
I was just gonna say sometimes I just completely run out of words. But going back again really quick, thank you, Mike, for saying that, because I don't make videos. I never have made videos. I used to be on, like Salty's Lives with JC a lot and talk a lot of shit. But other than that, I don't. So he really is, man, AD, just like everything else, you got this wrong, you friggin' slug. You want to come for me? I'm nobody. Seriously, I'm really nobody. And again, it's so 2 years ago if you think I watch you every day. But
Yeah,
if that makes you feel better, sweetheart, you just keep saying it, because it's definitely not true.
Oh, I think if there's anybody I'd love to see him, and I'd like to see an honest discussion. If he would have a discussion with you,
Well, I
sure.
am capable of doing that for sure. I am capable of having.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no illusions that it wouldn't devolve into something worse. But if he would like to have, so again, why is it that he wants to know my address and my employment and the stuff about my kids? I mean,
He had everybody asking everybody to send in details.
Yeah, did you really just openly put it out there that that you're stalking me? Because that's exactly what it fucking sounds like. Fucking weirdo. You want to know where I work. You want to know all about my kids. You want to know my real name. Again, idiot. That's my real name right there, except for the not in Canada. That's not part of my legal name. So did you really just say that out loud, that you're trying to stalk me and you're trying to incite your chat to come and stalk me? That was cute.
I would love it. But we all know, and I don't really like to verbally say things. But in this case, to me, anybody who will not accept an opportunity to discuss with others is a wimp. That's
right. It was all just bravado, right? He's just trying to sound like Billy Badass up on his panel. But again, I've tried to say it in his chat. I don't know if mods or he can see comments, even if you're blocked. I don't know. But I put it in his chat. I put that screenshot in, no hate to prove. As soon as he said it, he was still talking about me when I put it in there. I put it in no hate. I've said it on another live panel. I don't know what more I can do. There you go. It's out there. So any of his subs that may be watching, can you please let him know? Again, he wants to talk to me. I'm saying, let's do this. I can't go to him. I'm blocked. I could create probably another alt to go in there, but he would just block it. So there's no point in doing that, right? So could any of his subs or anybody that's not blocked, please let him know. I'm right here.
There's one thing I've just remembered is everybody knows that Chicken Lady approached him and managed to get him to stop using links on his Maddie videos and in his description, which is what I promised so many people that I would try to do. As payback to me, it seems, he declared one day, that's it. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. So he went ahead and did a Maddie live and instructed all the mods to give the links, which they did, which really upset me, because the whole point, as I mentioned earlier, is the reason we don't make money from Maddie is because of volunteers over 4 years translated 40,000 files for us so we can discuss and learn about the case in English. So how dare anybody make money from that? after
But that's
all their
why-
hard work.
But see, that's why he did it. That's why he did it, to piss you off. I mean, that's why he did it. You know, it was strictly to piss you off, you know, and
Yeah. But
because
what,
he's gross.
yeah.
He's gross.
But what I noticed was the following week, I think it was, I'm not sure, one of the weeks, the mods were good and they didn't put any links in. And I thanked them because that was important to me. And I thought, you know what? There are some respectable mods with integrity that at least stop putting links in, knowing the circumstances. So I was curious as to whether or not he'd do another Maddie Live, because we know that he stopped doing the Maddie Lives as soon as he wasn't able to make money. And he did do one a couple of days ago, and I wasn't watching it. I'm not sure if anybody, maybe Mike would know. Were there a lot of links put in that, or had the mods decided that's it, we're not putting links in anymore? And I do hope so, because I don't think, maybe others don't agree with me, I don't think his mods, for the most part, not all of them, of course, are nasty people. I think they're just enthralled with him and just want to do everything he says and get the accolades for doing it. But I
disagree.
Yeah, I know you disagree. I know we this is where we have such a separation, Cheryl, but I don't care, because we both have different opinions, don't we?
Yeah.
I can only go with what my gut tells me. I don't decide, oh, they did that, so I don't like them. I guess I don't work that way. I don't care about stuff. And I'm probably one on my own, but we won't go into that. I know, I sometimes feel like I'm trying to explain myself so people don't understand me. But what I tend to think I might be doing is maybe people thinking I'm a little goody or something. You know what I mean? I only explain myself so that I'm not misunderstood, because you can easily misunderstand me. If I like everybody that everybody else hates,
Right.
It does look like I'm weird.
Mike just answered. He said only 2 newish mods put links up for the McCann video.
Wow. Well, if any of the mods and admin are listening, thank you very much. And I appreciate that. That is important to me.
Now, if you can just get him to stop being so stupid, that would be great too. Have him stop saying the most asinine things, like, again, the chloroform, the dead wasp, the ponytail, the friggin' block party going on at 5:30 in the morning in the street. We got cars coming and going and bodies catapulting all over the place. So yeah, if you want to try to get him to stop doing that, that would be great too.
I don't think I have the control somehow. Oh
no, I was talking to his mods. Oh, I thought
you were talking to me.
No, I was talking to his mods to, hey.
Yeah. I think really at that point they'd be leaving.
Try helping him not make a fool of himself so much. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe see, that's why I also wondered sometimes. Do some of these, I remember with Joe the cat, sometimes she said things knowing he was going to react to it. It's almost like she didn't like him. Like she was trying to make him look like a fool, because it's like, I would never set my friend up for something like that. So maybe some of them don't even like him and they're just there to help make him look like an idiot. I don't know. It's possible.
Well, you do have to wonder, because, mind you, I will say one thing, and Mike has told me this, and other people have told me when they're mods, they're not listening. So they don't always hear what's being said. They only read what's in chat. And I think Mike certainly used to do that. So they wouldn't have the knowledge of really the stupidity of what he's saying.
Yeah. And I've done that on some some other, not your channels, because I'm always on your panel,
I
but
was just gonna say, you don't listen to me, Cheryl.
I've done that on some other panels a long time ago where, I was just modding the chat. But when you see what the mods are saying, like, oh my gosh, AD, yes, you're so right, then obviously they're listening to him. So
yeah, I guess so. I just can't comprehend how they can. It's hard because I'm sorry, but that in even in the subs, I'm sorry, there are people that are nice people. They're just very vulnerable, I think, and they follow the crowd.
But those people, so I used to be like you. I used to feel sorry for his, and that's why in that letter, and again, I'll post that in No Hate.
Yeah,
soon.
do.
Where I'm kind of talking to them basically about being brainwashed, right? Because, without going into it, I was brainwashed as a child in a very not so nice church. And it got really bad. So I can understand the brainwashing and the point of view. And I know how it works. But I don't feel that way anymore. This guy has been around long enough. The crap has been out there enough to where anybody with any common sense can go out there and see, again, all the stuff going on, all his crazy theories. There's enough videos out there debunking him, not just calling him a liar and you're stupid, which is, kind of what I do. I just call him names because I know it pisses him off because he's like a second grader. He doesn't like to be called names, so I call him names. No, actually debunking. This is what you said. This is the fact. So I'm at the point now, I don't feel sorry for his subs anymore because if you want to engage in that, I get the wanting the feeling of community. We had that here too, but I didn't jump on every single Truth Channel's channel and agree with everything they said because I didn't always agree with everything that was said by every channel. So I didn't agree with it. And I didn't, give support to it. So for these people to do this just to be in a community, which is what, remember, like a long time ago, that's kind of what we thought. This is, especially during COVID, this is their community and they don't want to be outed. And we've seen it happen in real time when he misunderstands a comment from somebody who is a diehard for him. He literally drags them and then the whole chat turns on them. And we've seen, mods, Country Cowgirl was one of them. As soon as she kind of stepped away, oh my God, then everybody's talking crap about her. Well, just a week ago, y'all loved her to death. You're like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I love seeing it. And now because he said something about her, they're all, I never liked her. She was always so. I don't feel sorry for those people. I don't.
Well, you've just reminded me, of course, one that we know about was Summer. And she was paying $50 a month on Patreon to be a board member. Yeah. And then when she attempted to have an input, I think she said it was something to do with the black car, that he said there was black windows on it and she wanted to input and say no.
Which, by the way, was one of the things at that member that she was at. She was that was one of the oh, I see. I still can't even think. I'm still waking up. One of the benefits that you get at being at that level is you get to have one-on-one and ask him questions and things like that, right? So again, I mean, it's not like, she was paying it and she just expected this. That was part of the benefits package of being at that level, was you got to ask questions and then now go ahead, finish what you were saying. Yeah.
Good job you're here, Cheryl, because you can correct me.
Well, I wasn't correcting you. I was just adding context.
So she had approached him because of the black windows. I think she disagreed with that. He wanted nothing to do with it. And then he phoned. Actually, I'm not sure when it happened. I think he blocked her at that point, or no, he wouldn't have done that. But whatever it was, he phoned one night in their middle of the night, and Outback was on the phone as well, or FaceTime or whatever. And I guess she ended up getting a lot of abuse from the others. and she found it really, really hard. I mean, there's a whole story which we do have on No Hate, but she got a lot of abuse from others, and he turned around and suggested that maybe she comes in under a different name, because then she could give him more money under a different name. I mean, this is the...
Did I know that? If I know that, I forgot that. Jesus.
Yeah, that was his offer. But by then, and I can't remember when that was, before or after the call with Outback, but then Outback was on him, and I mean, we know the rest of the story.
Mike put a comment in. I hope you don't mind I read it out, but I think it needs to be read out. Somebody doesn't read.
This is what I love, that you can read, because I
can read as opposed to AD who can't. Because
and me who claims to count, and I actually go through my video and discovered I can't count. But that's okay. Carry on.
He says his vulnerable subs want to belong and be part of his so-called family. I've had suicidal subs write to me when he's ignored them once they had run out. When he's ignored them once they have run out of money. Yeah. We've heard some things from Mike from back in the day, and it's everything that we thought about this subhuman, and I will call him a subhuman. And
but Mike would never pay the $1 to go into Patreon.
Don't forget, for you new people or any of his subs now, and I don't know if it's still the case, his mods had to pay to be in Patreon to mod Patreon for him. They didn't even get, hey, since you're my mod, here's the link to Patreon, which we all know is perfectly, because I think one time, if I remember right, I could be wrong, I think one time he kind of addressed that, saying something like, you have to pay to get in because it's behind it. And that's not true, because I have been a Patreon of his for a very long time. And I know that there are some other people that were part of the truth community that do the same thing, but we just share the link. Anybody can get in, just share the link. Here's the link, which I am allowed to do. Now, Patreon does kind of say, hey, if you are a Patreon and you're getting stuff from an artist and all that, it's probably not really a cool thing to be out there sharing it for free. So they kind of discourage it, but it's not against their terms of service. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's great. And you know what was a couple of things that Robin has said, which I really liked the thought of. One, apparently he one day, this, and I do have the graphic to show the comment from that person. One person claimed that she was foregoing one of her medications so she could be able to watch Patreon. And according to Robin, he'd actually been aware of her doing that and agreed with her or whatever. But further to that, I've also read that the mods did actually send her the free link, which I love.
Yeah.
Which is, and I know the mods often did do things like that in the old days. Now, I don't know about the current ones, but yeah, they used to try. I know Chris too, Chris and Robin and some of the others used to try and look after some of the people that he basically couldn't care about, which was nice to know. They try and make sure he paid back. If somebody had I've forgotten the reasons, but if they'd got something, say they didn't get a book or something, they tried to make sure that he paid it back. I mean, the book is another story, and there's one thing that I just did the video the other day, that he's now saying that the reason they're asking about the documentary. Oh my goodness. I just got to see the documentary again today. The initial trailer part. Oh my goodness. I taped it. I'll put it up in No Hate. The less said about it, the better. But what he's been saying lately is that the documentary money went to, because of the book, he had things to deal with, the copyright, and also he'd bought the software for the documentary. The reality is, as I've put in a video, you can check it out, this is the same channel, that he and Bubbles, I guess, uploaded up to 3 copies into Amazon. Not by accident, because what they did, they changed the title slightly. So the bots that were going around seeking out this kind of fraud didn't catch it, because the initial, you know, there was part of the title was different. So therefore the bots thought it was a different book. But when Nicole Morgan, who is a published author and in contact with Amazon,
a real one, not an
real
author, a real one,
a real author, and she's always in contact with Amazon, and she was able to bring it to their attention that there was 3 copies uploaded, and I think it went down to 2, but there was 3 at one time. You can see them in the video. And so what they did, Amazon fraud contacted him. They took down the biggest one, the one he'd earned the most on, and they demanded about, she said it was about 2,000 in royalties that he had to pay back, and that's what he probably used the documentary money for. So yeah, Amazon fraud, Alan Vinnicum, all goes together, doesn't it? And then he just bluffs it and tells different stories about things.
And he was never going to make a documentary, just like he wasn't doing those Google searches to research for his Ted Bundy documentary. I mean, it's again, it's all just stupid. Tired Single Mom says, I thought Bubbles was dead. His mod said she isn't with us anymore. I thought it meant she was dead. I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's dead. But do you find it funny that the mods that get the closest to him, that, you know, that work, obviously, that know a lot more than just the ones that show up and mod his chat, they all end up leaving at some point. Why is that? Well, I mean, we know why it is. That was a rhetorical question. And AD, have one of your mods explain what rhetorical means. Don't even try to say it, though. Please don't try to say it. I wouldn't want to hear how you butcher that word. I agree with somebody else in the chat. You know, whether he has dyslexia or not, that's no excuse for the shit that he does. I mean, dyslexia doesn't affect the way that you pronounce your words. Alcohol does, which, oh, by the way, I did want to say that. Like, again, AD, I'll bring the chips and dip it. It's a BYOB, because I think you drink way more than me. So I'm not funding the alcohol for that little chat. So you'll have to bring your own. And it doesn't, his dyslexia doesn't affect his comprehension. He has very low comprehension skills, very low comprehension. Again, he's just borderline illiterate. I mean, I've had more stimulating and more insightful conversations with 5th graders than this man has.
Well, the thing is, and I can't totally comment, but when he's been reading out the book and everything else, he does it pretty much straightforward. And from what I understand, dyslexic do have a little trouble with reading.
Yeah.
He's never had trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he seems when he's reading something, it's fine. It's when he's just actually speaking. Again, I've talked about this before. Like, Mike has like this, I don't know if he has it. We always joke with him like he needs to make an AD dictionary with all of his words. And we always talk about the manger instead of major. And then Suzanne just said the Lee Harvey suppository. Yeah, just all these. None of that's dyslexia, you idiot. You're just stupid.
I've just had a thought. I found his documentary today, or at least the portion that was done on his video, and I'm going to put the link to that moment in the video where you can see what the documentary was. For anybody that remembers it, It's unbelievable to think that what was he claiming it was going to be? Hollywood. They were approaching Hollywood with it. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, honestly.
I
know he was saying, there's been so much crap. I remember him talking about major networks. Did he mention Lifetime at one time, that it was going to be on Lifetime or something like that, or Netflix or something?
Yeah. Hang on, I'm just trying to find it. I had it earlier, but I think I want to do the link just to it because it's just so ridiculous, and I don't want to play it on here just in case he can get me for it. Oh golly, can you tell us a story, Shirley?
Tell a story.
Oh, sing?
No. I sing about as well as he speaks, so that would be a bad idea. So Suzanne says Netflix. Yeah, I knew it was something like that, and he was going to be interviewed by all these American news stations and Dateline. I don't know. Betsy B says yes. They said Hollywood producers were interested. Yes, Hollywood producers. I remember that. Tired single mom. Oh, geez. I'm not going to disagree with you. Tired single mom said, oh, where'd it go? Harvey Weinstein might work with him. JC says real Hollywood actors and producers. Yep. No, Suzanne, I will not sing. I will not subject you all to that. That's horrible. My poor dogs can't even stand it. They burrow under blankets when I do that. Let me see. I'm going back up. I'll read some comments. Yeah, Betsy B talking about his subs, I'm assuming, where she says he treats them like they are lucky to be in his presence. Yes, yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Dude, just because a female wants nothing to do with you doesn't mean that at one time she wanted your attention. There are people that can just dislike you, not find you attractive, not find you funny, not find you charming. And because they hate you now, and I will use the word hate because I know a lot of people say, I don't hate him. Well, I do. I hate him. It has nothing to do with ever wanting your attention. I was never a sub of yours. I never had, and I know that there are plenty of people who weren't. You are just repulsive. They just don't like you. So stop it. And the other thing is, everybody's old. I've noticed that in that clip that when he was talking about me, like all these old ladies. Dude, you're fucking over 20 years older than me. I mean, again, I think he projects. He doesn't like being called names, so he calls names, right? And clearly, since he thinks everybody is an old bitty woman living in a basement or some stupid shit like that, he assumes that that's going to hurt somebody's feelings because that's the kind of stuff that hurts his feelings. I mean, he calls himself old, but to have other people call him an old, washed up, whatever he is, he can't stand that. So again, you just look like an idiot. I don't know how old Val is or Tasha or anything. I know that Helen's a little bit older than me, but not by much. But Val and Tasha definitely. Tasha, I think, is in my age range too. And again, that's 20 years younger than you. I know JC's younger than me. Nuff is close to my age range too. So all these creators out there that were making videos about you, they're not all old. You're the old one. You're the old one, you idiot. Okay, I'm done. Did you find it?
I'm 5 years older than he is.
But see, that's where he thinks it hurts you, right? Because I think him being called old and a washed up whatever, a furniture maker. Again, what is I'm sorry, MFI? That's the furniture company that supposedly he was joking around about. When he said he was MI5. Yeah. So he just looks ridiculous. I mean, it's comical. But on the other side, it's not, because it's the same crap. And you just want to Just let me up on your panel, lady. Just let me up on your panel, please. Send me the link.
I've actually just posted the link for the video that he had where they would at the end, with the bubbles there, and they were discussing the documentary, and this is what they've done. And actually, this is pretty much all they did, because if you view it, there's no actors and actresses, all this stuff that he was planning. They've just taken clips that of the kind of clips you can use, the non-copyright clips, to be able to, and put different people together. So Shanann and Chris look different in one than they do in the next, because they've just picked up different video clips of different people. And I mean, it's pretty awful.
I mean, let's just face it. He was never going to make a documentary, at least not to the level he was spouting off. We all know that. He can't. So again, it was just another cash grab. And I don't want to bring up crap, but when someone says that they're using money for something and then it turns out they used it for something different without telling the people that donated that money ahead of time, I don't think that's okay. Now, maybe his subs are like, oh, that's fine, AD. I donated you the money and you use it however you want. That's cool. But I can't imagine that everybody that donated to this documentary is okay with the fact that they donated it to support him, to, these big producers and Netflix. And then all of a sudden, no, it's because they caused so much trouble with the book, the same book that basically, like Suzanne said earlier, was like a flyer. It wasn't really a book. Hey, just any subs, you can kind of go for him for that. Not that he'll ever refund you, but doesn't that show you the level of conning? He's a con man. He's a liar. Yeah. He's a con.
Well, I've just found a little. I'll just play a little short clip from the documentary to give you some idea of what it was. It was heading into. They really didn't get too far on it, but you just have to see it because I found it.
I don't want to see it, but okay. Are you playing it now?
Almost.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see. Yes.
Is it big or little? Or?
It's little. Can you make it big? Yeah, there you go.
Kind of just choosing clips, different actors, different people. Enthralling, isn't it? So this is maybe the trailer, but it's basically most of what they managed.
This is like a trailer, right? This isn't part of the actual documentary, right?
Well, hang on.
JC says, "Hey, Alan, did anyone ever receive the hard copy of your Shallow Man?" Yeah, I mean, I would be interested to know what happened to the hard copies. Oh, let me guess. Because of the truth channels, they ruined it for you. You ran out of money because you had to keep. Again, I'm assuming that a lot of the re-uploads were just because they realized how horrible their editing was, and they're like, okay, that's just ridiculous. We need to fix that. Yeah. Did anybody get a? I've never heard of anybody that got a hard copy, but then again, I don't talk to people.
We got
that
the nice silky smooth one. I've got one actually, but the inside, you open it up, and I would never, if I'd have been sent that book from somebody, not knowing who it was from, who had created it, I would be in total shock, because there'd be like half a page
Yeah.
and then blank, and then finishing off the sentence at the top of the next page. I mean, I'm talking really, really, really.
I've seen some screenshots of people that got it. Maybe it was from you, and I'm going to say I did get Cato's book, and I couldn't imagine, and no, I've never finished it. I couldn't imagine anything being more poorly written than her book. But yeah, he made a liar out of me, because he came in with his book, and it literally, I mean, again, second graders, third graders write better book reports than that. That's kind of the thing, is punctuation, spacing, sentence structure. There was none of that happening in that book. And didn't he at one time claim that part, I think when it first went up, that the reason it was so all over the place, like what you were saying, where it would finish on the next page or be skipped, was during the upload process, it got corrupted? I think Bubbles claimed that at one point. Like, again, you think you're talking to a bunch of, I know that he's used to talking to his subs, which take his word as gold, but it wasn't true. It wasn't true.
Yeah. And the other thing that this is it. He's bringing up the same old, regurgitating the same old stuff, and people are believing him. He's talking about the initial, how the publishers, and this is why he lost the book. What it was, and correct me if I get it wrong, Shirley, what it was that Bubbles initially went to somebody who lived close to her to publish it. And we knew who it was. Frank and I think Bam also contacted him to suggest not to do it. And he didn't. And he didn't, if there was any money that changed hands, he got the money back. Apparently, he was at a funeral when they contacted him. Well, he didn't have his phone turned off. How is anybody?
Well, I don't even know if that's true. I haven't heard. I mean, we heard that from AD's side. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But regardless, yeah, if you're at a funeral, that's kind of on you to turn your phone off.
Yeah, it was true that Frank. I've done a video on it. Frank.
No. I mean that they were calling during a funeral. Or first off, how the hell would anybody know that this random guy in somewhere United States was at a funeral? They tried calling him. Okay, so if you're at a funeral, right. I mean that didn't mean anything to me. I thought.
And then they went on to start to try and do it themselves. They opened Wisconsin Whispers and had all the money donated. Yeah. It was ridiculous, but it certainly was nothing to do with the trolls. The other thing that I do want to bring to attention, and this may be an important thing to keep in mind and remember, and I accidentally came across it, is he was banned for 2 weeks. Now, is this the 2 weeks that he's claiming that he lost all this money because he didn't? Yeah, because it was during when the book was on. He lost all this money because of the trolls, whatever. What I discovered was, and it was 9 weeks that he lost the money for. I think. Have you heard him say that, Shirley?
I don't remember.
Oh no, you don't watch. He has been claiming that. Regarding the court case, that they're going to have to give me money for the 9 weeks I lost or whatever. As I'm doing my little bit of researching, what I discovered was he was banned for 2 weeks, and it was a video from the day before that he was likely banned for. Nothing to do with the trolls taking him down or whatever. And it was only 2 weeks and not 9 weeks like he claims. I may be wrong, but this is what I discovered. I haven't linked the dates and everything, but it does seem that that's it. So anyway,
I want to read Sandy Blue's comment. This is kind of going back. Remember when he took the elderly lady's Christmas money she had been given? Her daughter tried to get it back, but of course he held on to it. Yeah, I do remember that. I do. There's been several instances like that, because I'll talk about it later. He doesn't care. Remember when he went on the tirade about, you could pay to be in Patreon. It's only $5. You first off, assuming that everybody smokes or everybody drinks coffee. You can afford it. It's $5. Come on, people, stop whining to me that you can't afford it. If you can afford a pack of cigarettes, if you can afford coffee, then Jesus. And it worked. Some people were guilted into it.
This is what I want to do. I'm not just going to upload his monthly income from here, there, and everywhere, and how it was over the year. I also am going to take a month, find the amount of super chat, membership, whatever, monetization, Patreon for that month, and then play a video clip where he is begging for money, because he doesn't have money, and yet he's earned 15. Because my overall estimate, I will tell you right now, that from without going into PayPal and memberships, because I have no idea on those. So apart from that, and he gets a lot of money on PayPal. Apart from that, my estimate right now, just a judgment, was around 350,000 for the last 3 years. That's where I'm heading. It's obviously more. It's obviously a lot more because I'm doing the minimum. But that is what we are basically looking at as a minimum, without PayPal, without all the other stuff. Can you believe that, Shirley?
I mean, I was there. I saw the money coming in. I mean, I wasn't like you. I wasn't as into the numbers or the amounts, but I saw the numbers coming in. I saw what he said. Yeah. So, I mean, I do think sometimes he may have, because you remember back in the day, he did kind of try to come off like he was this really rich man, whether that's true or not. But if it's not true, well, then I guess your lies are coming back to bite you in the ass, because now it's being looked at that way. And now he's a poor mouth.
Yeah. And it's because he called me a
liar.
A liar. But yeah. I only worked this out this morning because I'm surprising myself. There is no question that he earned during the September to September 21. There's no question that he earned at least 120,000 in that year. Probably lots more, but 120,000 that year. For the rest of the years, if you average it out, that he had 500 patrons over, he actually more often than not had 7, 8, 9. It's very probably another 120,000. So that's 240,000.
Can we just say again, for the record, making money on YouTube is not a problem. He can make all the money.
Absolutely. Not doing it by false pretenses and lies.
I muted myself, which is probably for the better. But if all his sons want to throw all their money at him, that's fine. But it's not just because
don't beg for it and pretend to vulnerable ladies that you need money.
Well, right. I mean, there's that part of it, but there's been a lot of people that have asked, well, why him? There's so many others, da 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 da. And I explained this on another creators panel not long ago. And I said, I can't speak for everybody. All I can do is speak for me. Back then, he was one of the biggest, and he wasn't just, even though he always said, in my opinion, but his lies were they were dangerous. He doxed an address telling his subs that he got this private information, that this was Nicole Kessinger's, this is where she's living. He doxed the address. There are people that live in that area. And there was one that, and I just came across the screenshot the other day. I don't know where I found it at though, saying, well, maybe I'll have to pay a visit. I'll bring my German Shepherd and I have a concealed weapons permit, and granted, that person's probably, but you never know, because he had all those people in such a frenzy back then about her that I don't normally,
Do you remember the gun nut one where somebody in Patreon, I don't know if it may be the same one, actually was heading.
Yes.
Was going
She
to head
said she
with
had
the
her
gun
German
and then
Shepherd.
head the dog.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
one.
and she carries because she has a concealed weapons permit. But he had them in such a frenzy about her. Like it would have been literally like, a mob mentality thing. I think if, 5 of these people saw her on the street, they probably would have attacked her because he had them so convinced she did these horrible things. And he's accused every member of the family of being associated with the murders at one point. That's the thing. And Frank Rusek even said, of course people are going to talk about the case. And of course, not everybody's going to come to the same conclusions. They have a right to their opinion. But he wasn't stating an opinion. He was lying. He was feeding the masses what they wanted to hear. And the more he lied, the more outlandish and crazy, again, ponytails and cell phones by the tree, the more crazy it was, the more people were up. Yeah. And they would say,
greed.
Huh?
It's about the greed. It's not like most people that we agree can make money. You do a good job. You do your research. He doesn't do any research whatsoever. He never has. Everything is somebody else's, what they've done, and then he can blame everybody when it goes wrong. But when you do those, same as with the Medi channel, there's a lot of research and a lot of effort goes into it. But I choose not to make money from it, but I don't blame anybody who does do a channel and makes money on it. But that's when you've done the work. All he is a mouthpiece. Not
even very good at that.
I was just going to say, have you noticed lately, but then you haven't watched it. But
no.
Mostly, and it was particularly obvious just in these past couple of weeks, that what he produces, he's never even read himself, never mind researched it. He's reading it for the first time. And you're thinking, how can you do that? You don't know what's ahead of you. And sometimes it comes back to bite him. But yeah, he doesn't.
But
he doesn't
don't care. He doesn't do this stuff to look credible, to look like an honest armchair detective. He doesn't care, and his subs don't care. So that's all that matters to him. It doesn't matter if because back in the day he would literally say something, and then 5 minutes later he would contradict himself. But they don't care, so he doesn't care. Why put in all that work if you can still bring in money without putting any effort in? I mean, because he's lazy. He's lazy.
That's why we disagree. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why we disagree, and the money is an issue. It's not, several issues, but yeah.
Well, I agree. He does it for the money. He does it for the money. But I'm saying he doesn't have to put research into what he's saying, because his subs are going to send him money regardless if he's accurate or not. In fact, the more accurate he is, the less they're going to like it, because they like those crazy conspiracy theories. So he plays on that. Do you remember the time something happened? I don't even remember what happened, but then all of a sudden he was blaming his subs for the crap he had been saying for years. That they were just, they would come up with these ideas and I would investigate. Those weren't all I didn't actually think that there were bodies being catapulted out the back window, but some people brought that up as a possibility. So I talked about, he tried to blame his subs for that shit, even when it started apart. That was,
and now what he uses, like last night, I think it's, we're all allowed to change our opinion at times. So that covers it. That covers why he said this one time and this another time and 10 times different things. It's because he's allowed to change his opinion. But the reality is he's choosing the best one for that moment, the best theory for that moment. And that's all that matters. He doesn't care. Like I say, as long as he gets the attention, money, viewers, whatever, during that live, he couldn't care less about being debunked or whatever, because he's never going to listen. But he'll get the money.
Yeah, he doesn't care about being debunked because he's not in it for being accurate or being respected by, you know, the people that watch him or even other channels or other creators. He's just in it. Like I said, he would watch the chat and he would guide what he's going to say next based on the crazy
absolutely.
stuff, you know, because as crazy as he is, of his subs, again, I don't know what they're like now, but back then, some of them I'm thinking, gee, I don't want to run into these people at the friggin' grocery store. These people are just batshit crazy. They're as bad as him, if not worse to a certain point. So he would watch the chat and he would determine where he's going to go with his next conspiracy based on what's the hit. Yeah.
He gets his whole topic from how the chat goes, or he's always done that. You can read somebody put something in chat and the next minute he's talking about it as if he was the one who, you know, just got.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing that would be so annoying. Like somebody would say something in the chat like, it's just crazy how this case has happened. And then he's going along going, and you guys, yeah, you know, this is just crazy what's happening. And he's just, but he's not saying, yeah, so and so, I agree, it's crazy. I mean, he just, yeah. And I mentioned I'm not like this, man.
Pardon?
I said I don't like this, man, at all. Do not. And then Tired Single Mom says they hate NK, but I think Alan loves her. Yeah. I mean, just gonna say he does seem pretty obsessed with the woman. He does.
Yeah. Well, he knows. I think he's he's always been after her, hasn't he? And I think because he knows that's where the money is, there's not much he can focus on right now. He's probably careful not to focus on the family and figures if he just stays with NK, then that's okay. And but I foresee all of the old things popping up again. I mean, the videos he was using last night, they were all his old videos, which, you know, in some cases is okay, but it's just such a little bit of work.
I was reminded, because like I said, I was telling somebody about some of these crazy things he said. There was the whole, remember when he did the interview was the guy a witch? He was a something, and he literally was in his bathroom and he did the interview from his bath. This is when he was all into the tea leaves. She drugged Chris with the tea. And then he did this interview with this, I'm sorry, I can't remember what a male witch is called. But I remember the guy was literally Warlock. Yeah. He was literally in his bathroom doing this interview, and Jesus. So yeah, the tea leaves, and then you've got like this cult thing, and then you've got the rehab thing, and the poor girl. The other one, the poor girl who had the nerve to have a friend pay for her Uber. Had Nicole Kessinger paid for her Uber or whatever to pick her up that one time. Dox the hell out of that woman. How about the multiple women that people have sent pictures in going, I think this is NK on the beach. I think this is NK walking her dog. All this crazy stuff.
And then he had the gate and Barry. He had Barry. And Barry actually was given a really bad video. And he really thought that, you know, this is possible, that it was this. I showed him the real video later, and he was really upset that he wasn't given the original video. And AD at this time had even included him in his book to say that he'd go to court or whatever with him. And Barry actually really shout out that no, I want nothing to do with him. And he's actually in our no hate group, come to think of it. But I just want to say, I accidentally came across it the other day, that he was a gait expert, fitness, that kind of stuff. And apparently he's just opened his own studio. So I'm quite pleased for him. He's got his own studio now. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's just something I came across. But yeah, he was pretty upset to have not been given a good video to make a judgment on, and then being used in the book. So of course he had to be taken out of the book.
Well, and then there was what's his name, Jeff, the dog handler. He totally manipulated what Jeff said. He took what Jeff said out of that video. Once the live was over, he took it out and then re-uploaded it. So of course it looked favorable when Jeff, I think his name was Jeff.
No. Yeah, his name was Jeff. I was going to have him on one of my lives. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Where he actually said it's very possible the dogs wouldn't hit on anything if she was, if the bodies were only there for a short period of time. That is possible. He took that completely out when he.
No, you know what he did? And he did say that, and AD said that. So it's possible that basically no one died in the house. And Jeff said, yeah. You know what actually happened? But it's slightly different there, Cheryl, because I was recording, and CSI Lady, it was on Patreon, and CSI Lady was on, and Jeff happened to pop in and heard her and realized she was talking a load of twaddle, and jumped up on screen.
Oh, right.
And spent the next hour helping. He's so great. Jeff is so funny. He's great. And he spent the next hour with AD. And so what AD did, he told Jeff that it was long. He was going to separate it and upload it separately. No, he didn't. He deleted it, that portion of it.
Yeah, but I think JC just put
it, and that's
JC just put a link in the chat.
Pardon?
JC just put a link in the chat. Says Jeff Young deleted video clip snippet.
Oh,
so
thanks, Jen. Yeah, poor old Jeff. Now I'm just thinking that Nuff Nuff is going live, isn't she, this afternoon?
Am I correct? I don't know.
Can somebody let me know? Is Nuff Nuff going live?
I literally woke up, went into the chat, saw you were going live, and then I came over here, so I haven't even read all the chat. So I don't know. I don't know if she was going to do it.
Okay. Is Nuff Nuff still here? Or?
No, she said she had to go, so she left a little bit ago.
Oh, okay. I wonder if I can check to see if okay. I will ask the appropriate people, because I have people, don't you, Shirley? I've got people.
You've got people. Yes, you do.
Oh yeah. And okay. Hang on, I'll put it in big letters. Asking a question. Is Nuff going live? Because if she is, I'd like to be able to give the link to everybody here. So
I'll find her channel and put the link in her channel.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing here. I got distracted. Hang on.
All right. I'll put the link to Nuff Nuff's channel in the chat. I don't know if she's going live, but we'll see. I am going to have to jump off here pretty soon, though.
No, hang on. I'm trying to do something here, and I'm getting all confused because I'm trying to be proper. It's not working. I'm trying to find the link for this. Okay. Okay, I think I'm getting where I wanted to go. It's kind of important to me, so okay. Yeah, we didn't want to stay on too long, although we have kind of been on for a bit, haven't we? And it was a sudden thought. I just did a premiere of one video, and it was only 7 minutes, and I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll do a quick live. And then you appeared, and here we are. So I would say that maybe, if you're still there, we should
I am.
oh, okay. So Nuff isn't going live tonight, so we won't be interfering with her time frame. That's a shame, because I always enjoy when Nuff goes live, having a good old chin wag and stuff, and the quizzes. I think she was going to do a quiz, wasn't she? Maybe we'll have to for next week. Is there a? I don't know what I'm doing. Am I still here? Okay.
You are.
Yeah. So, do you think we should wrap it up now? Because I think we've covered a whole slew of things.
Yep. Like I said, I need to get going. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to jump off. Thank you for inviting me up, Lizzie. Have
As
a good
always,
weekend, everybody. I will talk to everybody around.
okay.
Bye-bye.
And I will do the same. I will thank you all for being here, and let's just get together some other time. And sadly, I was hoping to introduce Nuff's live to you, but no, she's not going to do it. So have fun. It's Saturday, and take care. And thanks everyone for being here. Okay. Go in the stream.